Hi, I'm Lyle from lrguitar.com. I'd like to take a few minutes to show you some really neat ways of spicing up your chords that you may have not thought of up until this point, or you may have heard some guitar players using this kind of device, which is basically utilizing the top two, sometimes top three strings on your guitar, namely the open G string, the open B string, and the open high E string. And maybe you've heard this sound, you know, like I played in the opening. I think it's a common usage of the open strings, but it's really an effective way to spice up your chords in a way that, if not used too much, will, you know, make heads turn and people will go, "Whoa, what was that?" So let me show you a couple of things. And if you go on lrguitar.com, look for the post that has this video. If you're looking at this on YouTube, I have a diagram of a few chord voicings. There goes my cat. A few chord voicings that you can use to further your arsenal of guitar tricks. So the first thing I played was kind of an F chord, basically almost like an F9 chord, because I'm utilizing, here's the voicing. You can get it on, as I said, lrguitar.com. The voicing is there. It's basically, my third finger is on the F note on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. I'm using the open string, the G string open. My first finger is on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, which is my C, and I'm using the high E string open. So it's kind of like an F9 chord, because I've got the G, which is the 9th of F in the scale of F. Well, I'll get to that eventually in my lessons. So for the moment, this is how it sounds. Very sweet, very nice chord. And what I did, like I did in my first lesson, I've basically moved the voicing up the neck without even taking my fingers off the neck. So once you have that chord position, then just move it up. I moved it up to the 5th fret here. And there it is on the 8th fret, 10th fret, and then the 12th, the octave being the 15th fret. I think that's a very pretty sound, and it's something that, you know, you can utilize in your own playing. Something you can, for example, I don't know if you all know the song Dreams by a group called Fleetwood Mac. It's on an album called Rumors. It was a huge, huge hit back in the late 70s. It's basically all it is 2 chords, F and G. And one of the bands I'm in, actually, we do that song. And what I did was I just, instead of playing, which there's nothing wrong with that, and that's a fine voicing to play for that song, but I did exactly what I showed you. Instead of that, I just did my open F9 thing. Now, it may not sound amazing, well, actually I think it does, but it may not sound amazing in this context, but when played with a full band, with keyboards, we have another guitar player as well, vocalist, bass, drums. It really opens up the sound, and if you do it subtly enough, with no, not really blaring, it adds a nice sweetness to it. So that's something to think about. In fact, if you want to, you can kind of put YouTube on, go to Fleetwood Mac's song "Dreams," and play along with it like that. I think it would be very nice. Okay, now, and basically the other chord shapes that I have on lrguitar.com in the diagram are basically you're playing a bar chord, a usual F bar chord in this instance, or a bar shape anyway. And what I'm using is the standard bar chord up until the 3rd string. After that, I'm utilizing open B and open E. So I get this nice That's cool. I actually think so. I love that stuff. As I mentioned in the post on my site, I originally got this idea way back in probably the late 70s, early 80s by a guy named Alex Lifeson, who's the guitar player in a band called Rush. If you don't know them, check them out. They're fantastic. And he did a song, well, I first heard it in a song called Xanadu, and I've put that clip on my post on my lrguitar.com. And towards the end of the video clip, he does this type of thing. Although he does it a little better. But anyway, so that's a really cool thing. All he's using is just a regular standard open E chord, but then he's moving it up 2 frets and getting a really nice F sharp something or other. I sometimes worry more about the sound than I do about the theoretical aspect of these things. But so if you play around with stuff like that, except for that, if you play around with it, try different things. One of the other chords, you probably heard this a lot. It's basically a D9 chord or a D add 2 chord. So it's basically your garden variety D chord, except I'm taking off the F sharp, I'm removing my 2nd finger, and I'm allowing the E string to ring open. So that's a really nice, effective way of, just spicing up a regular chord. And I mean, all kinds of guitar players play that one. So it's a fantastic chord to try. The other chord shape that I have on my diagram on the site is a C chord, going back to our C chord. But I'm using only the first 3 notes of the C chord as usual, and I'm once again utilizing the open B and open E string. Very nice, very pretty. If you're like a new age guitar player, you could do that stuff. If you're even in a rock band, I forget what his name is, but the guy who's in Billy Talent, the guitar player, he uses this type of stuff all the time. The 3 Doors Down guys, they use it all. So it's just a great way of adding, accentuating, basically your the usual chord shapes. Another one is another bar chord shape, but instead of the usual, like here's a D bar chord, instead of this one, what I'm doing is I'm using the top 3 strings of that chord. So basically, in this situation, I'm using an E. So I'm using the 5th, the 4th, and the 3rd strings of that chord shape. Once again, I'm utilizing the open B and the open E string. So you get something like this. Very effective, very nice way of just taking something old and making it kind of fresh. And if you look at the video that I embedded on my post at lrguitar.com, there's a song by a group called April Wine. The song is called Before the Dawn. It's on their Harder, Faster album. Take a look at it. The beginning part of that song is totally that. So there you go. What I suggest doing is going on my site, checking out those chord shapes, trying your own versions of them maybe. Take one shape at a time, move it up and down the neck. Remember, I always say, use your ear as your guide. It'll tell you if a chord works or it doesn't work. And then, if you can, either using like a YouTube video, or if you're in a band or you have some friends to jam with, put this stuff into practice right away. Get it under your fingers, give it a shot, try it out. You know, the worst thing that can happen is, I don't know, you get slapped in the face. I'm just joking. The worst thing that can happen is someone's going to go, what is that? The best thing that's going to happen is someone's going to go, what is that? That's amazing. So take it home, try it out. If you like this stuff, if you've worked on it, if you want to do a video response and send me a video of what you've done, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to see people taking this stuff and putting it into action. Leave a comment on the YouTube page, or leave a comment on my post on my lrguitar.com, and I'll definitely get back to you. And I'd love to see you playing this type of stuff. So take care and keep on rocking.